I can't eat homemade food made by poor people like you. I prefer high-end sushi. Her words cut through the air, halting me in the middle of preparing dinner. Poor people, you said? I repeated, trying to make sense of her sharp, mocking tone. Her voice carried a hint of a smile, making her insult sting even more. I placed my hand on the kitchen counter, momentarily at a loss for words. Someone like you as a mother-in-law is the worst, she continued, her words dripping with disdain. But I'm trying to bear with it because your son is an elite, and your husband runs a company. Her casual cruelty hung heavy in the room, sucking the warmth from the atmosphere. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. Years of hard work and dedication to keep this family together, dismissed with a single sentence. Yet, I held on, trying to believe there was more to her than the arrogance she displayed. Then, my husband, David, who had been silently observing, finally stood up. With just one word, he silenced the room, leaving us all frozen in place. My name is Lisa Scott. I live with my husband, David, and our 2 sons, James and Adam. I've spent most of my life as a stay-at-home mom, committed to raising my children. Perhaps my devotion to family stems from my own childhood, one marked by the absence of stability and love. When I was just 3, my parents divorced. My mother took me in, working tirelessly to provide for us. Despite her efforts, we lived in poverty. Dinner was often the same meal night after night, and exhaustion etched itself into my mother's face. Yet, she never let her struggles overshadow her love for me. She celebrated my smallest victories and always found a way to make me feel cherished. But her health couldn't keep up with the endless sacrifices. When I started elementary school, she fell gravely ill. Unable to work, she could no longer support us. The financial strain was too much, and I was sent to live in a children's home. Life at the home was challenging, filled with children from all walks of life. I learned independence, resilience, and the painful value of family. Those experiences shaped me, teaching me to treasure every moment with my loved ones. When I married David, we didn't have much, but we were happy. He started his business around the time I was pregnant with James. It was a slow start, but we made it work, always prioritizing family time. Over the years, his hard work paid off, the business flourished, and we were able to provide a comfortable life for our sons. James was ambitious and studious, earning a place at a prestigious university and later a job at a top company. Adam, our younger son, excelled in sports and earned a soccer scholarship. I still remember James's excitement when he shared his success. Mom, Dad, I did it. I got in. My husband and I were so proud, knowing that his determination and hard work had paid off. As our sons thrived, I felt like our family had reached a beautiful harmony. That's why, when James introduced Mary to us, I wanted so badly to welcome her with open arms. Mary was tall, elegant, and carried herself with confidence. Her cheerful demeanor and engaging conversation instantly put me at ease. She spoke passionately about her career in interior design, and I found myself genuinely admiring her ambition. For a moment, I thought of her as the daughter I never had. She fit into our family so naturally, until I glimpsed a side of her I hadn't expected. When James stepped away to use the bathroom and David took a call, Mary's demeanor shifted, the warmth in her eyes vanished, replaced by a cold, critical gaze. Concerned, I asked, "Are you okay?" She blinked, her expression tightening. "What do you mean?" "It's just, your expression changed," I said cautiously. "Oh, it's nothing," she replied dismissively. Then, gesturing to the dessert I had served, she said, "Where did you get this cake? It tastes so cheap." I was taken aback. "Excuse me?" She smirked. "I have a favorite bakery. Next time, I'll bring something from there. You won't want to eat anything else after that." Her tone was laced with condescension as she poked at the cake with her fork. Her words lingered, leaving me unsettled. The cheerful, polite Mary from earlier seemed like a distant memory. I was surprised and a bit hurt by Mary's earlier words, but I decided to stay silent. When James returned from the bathroom and David finished his call, Mary's demeanor shifted as if nothing had happened. Her expression brightened, her cheerful tone returning effortlessly. I chose not to bring up the unsettling moment, but a sense of unease lingered. Later that evening, Adam arrived home. "I'm back," he called, sounding tired. "Welcome back, Adam. You're late. Everything okay?" I asked, watching him closely. "Yeah, just a long day," he replied, his tone weary as he walked into the living room. Mary stood up, her enthusiasm bubbling over. "Nice to meet you. I'm Mary. I've heard so much about you from James." Adam offered a polite but tired smile, extending his hand for a handshake. "Nice to meet you too," he said, his voice cordial but distant. We all sat down at the table again. James and Mary carried most of the conversation, while Adam remained quiet, only speaking when directly addressed. You play soccer in college, right? What position? Mary asked, trying to engage him. Forward, Adam replied curtly. That's so cool. Soccer must require a lot of teamwork. Yeah, it does. Despite her efforts, Adam's responses stayed brief. Mary didn't seem bothered and moved the conversation back to herself. I was in the volleyball club in college. Team unity is everything, don't you think? Yeah, I guess, Adam said, clearly uninterested. The atmosphere grew increasingly tense. Suddenly, Adam stood up. Hey, where are you going? James asked, sounding annoyed. I'm tired, I need some sleep, Adam replied, irritation creeping into his voice. That's rude. Mary's here, and you're just leaving? Adam shrugged. I don't think it's rude. Good night. As Adam walked out, Mary's warm expression flickered. She glared at his back and clicked her tongue, a subtle but telling gesture. My stomach tightened. Was there something more beneath her cheerful facade? Mary quickly regained her composure. It's been a long day. I think I'll head home now, she said, her voice light again. After seeing James and Mary off, I turned to David. What do you think of her? She seems cheerful and nice, he said thoughtfully, but Adam's behavior was unusual. He's not usually like that. I noticed too, I said, my voice quieter. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but something feels off. David gave me a reassuring look. Let's give it some time. Everyone feels things differently. That night, the house was quiet. As I sat on the sofa reflecting on the evening, Adam walked in. Mom, can I talk to you? Of course, I said, gesturing for him to sit beside me. He hesitated, choosing his words carefully. That girl, Mary, I don't think she and I get along. James likes her a lot, but I just don't get a good feeling about her. Why do you feel that way? I asked gently. It's not anything specific, he admitted, just a feeling. I nodded slowly. I understand. Sometimes, gut feelings matter. He looked relieved. She smiles, but I feel like there's something else behind it. I felt it too, I confessed, not to speak ill of her, but there's something unsettling about her. I don't want to upset James, but I can't ignore it either. Our conversation lasted a while, with Adam expressing his unease. His concerns mirrored my own, and I felt more justified in my cautious approach. The next morning, tension hung over breakfast. When Mary's name came up, Adam's expression hardened. James, what do you even see in her? Stop it, Adam, James snapped. Why do I have to explain myself to you? Come on, it's weird. Mom feels it too. I don't care what Mom said, James shouted. I like Mary. Their argument escalated until I intervened. Enough, both of you. That's no way to talk to each other. Adam calmed down, though his face remained stormy. James stayed upset, but I tried to ease the tension. Adam, it's important to respect James's choice, but James, we can't dismiss how Adam feels either. Fine, Adam muttered, backing off. As breakfast ended, the mood lightened slightly, but Adam's worried expression stayed with me. Despite the tension, James and Mary eventually got married. For their first holiday as newlyweds, they planned to stay over, and I prepared a feast to celebrate. When they arrived, Mary's eyes lit up at the sight of the spread. Wow, this looks amazing. I've never seen such a feast before. Thank you, I said warmly. I made this to celebrate your marriage. Thank you so much. I feel so blessed, Mary said, smiling sweetly. Her words eased some of my doubts, and we began eating together. However, as we cleaned up after the meal, Mary's tone shifted again. These plates are a bit old, aren't they? She said, her voice laced with condescension. These plates have been with us since we got married. They're full of memories, I explained. Oh, I see, she said with a faint smirk. Or maybe you just can't afford new ones? Her words stung. Mary, before I could respond, she whispered coldly, you should serve sushi next time. I can't eat homemade food made by poor people like you. I froze, her words hitting harder than I expected. This wasn't the Mary James saw. This was someone else entirely. I was stunned by Mary's words and the cold stare she gave me. Poor people? Did you really say that? My voice rose before I could stop it, drawing the attention of James, Adam, and David. It's nothing, Mary said quickly, trying to brush it off. But I couldn't let it go. You called us poor, didn't you? She clicked her tongue, a look of disdain crossing her face. So, the mask slips, Adam said, glaring at her. Why did you even marry James? You're just after his and Dad's money, aren't you? Calm down, Adam, James said, stepping in. Don't be ridiculous. Mom's just imagining things. Imagining? Didn't you hear what she said to Mom? How can you defend her? Adam shot back, the tension between the brothers rising. I said it as a joke. Mary interjected with a dismissive wave. No need to make such a big deal out of it. A joke? I said, my voice steady but firm. Mary, even as a joke, that's not something you should say. Words like that hurt. Mary rolled her eyes. Fine, sorry if you're all so sensitive. Sensitive? Adam was furious now. This isn't about sensitivity, it's about respect. Do you even care about James or this family? Mary sighed dramatically, as though she were tired of the entire exchange. Of course, I care about James. Why else would I marry him? Adam wasn't convinced. Then why say things like that about his family? If you cared, you wouldn't be so disrespectful. I was just being honest, Mary said, her tone sharpening. James told me himself how hard your mom's life was growing up. I'm just stating the obvious. She's strong, sure, but having someone like her as a mother-in-law isn't exactly ideal. Her words cut deep, and I saw the shock on James's face. Mary, what are you saying? He asked, his voice trembling. I'm saying the truth, James. You're an elite, your family isn't exactly on the same level, but I thought I could overlook that because of you, she said, her voice cold and unapologetic. And honestly, she added, glancing at Adam, he's more my type anyway. Adam's chair scraped loudly as he stood, his fists clenched. That's enough. The room fell silent, the weight of her words hanging heavy. My husband, who had been silent until now, finally spoke up, his voice calm but commanding. Mary, I think it's time you left. What? Why? Mary looked genuinely surprised. I've tolerated a lot for the sake of peace, but insulting my family crosses a line, he said, pulling out his phone. I'm calling your father, he needs to know what's happened here. Wait, what? Mary stammered, but my husband didn't waver. Minutes later, the doorbell rang, and David went to answer it. Mary's parents entered the living room, her mother looking nervous while her father, Larry, appeared calm but firm. What's going on here? Larry asked, his gaze shifting between us and his daughter. Your daughter has crossed a line, my husband said. She insulted my family, and it's clear she has no respect for us. Mary? Larry turned to her, his tone heavy with disappointment. What did you say? I didn't do anything wrong, she protested. Don't lie to me, Mary, he said sternly. Tell me the truth. Mary hesitated but didn't respond. Her mother tried to defend her. Larry, let's not jump to conclusions. Enough, he cut her off. Mary, you've embarrassed this family. If you can't respect James's family, you have no place here. Dad, you can't mean that. Mary's voice cracked as the weight of his words hit her. I do, Larry said firmly. It's time for you to grow up. You'll learn the value of respect and family when you're on your own. Tears streamed down Mary's face, but Larry didn't relent. You're leaving with me today, and until you can apologize and prove you've changed, you're not welcome here. Mary and her parents left soon after, the atmosphere in the house heavy with unresolved tension. James sat quietly, his head in his hands. I'm sorry, he finally said. I should have seen this sooner. It's okay, I said, placing a hand on his shoulder. What matters is that we move forward. In the months that followed, James and Mary finalized their divorce. While it was a painful chapter, it brought our family closer together. James later met Erica, a kind and thoughtful woman who valued family above all else. Their relationship blossomed naturally, and when James introduced her to us, we instantly felt at ease. Years passed, and our family grew with new spouses, grandchildren, and shared memories. We learned that love and respect are the true foundations of family. Watching my grandchildren play in the yard one sunny afternoon, I felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. We had faced challenges, but through it all, our bond had only grown stronger.